Greetings, coaches. Jeff here. I just want to put together a little video to show some basic conditions for teaching your students simple attack and saber. And right now we're working on cueing from the blade. So I'm using my blade to instruct him on when and where to make the cut and giving him time to just kind of focus and relax into it. This is a warm-up part of a lesson. Carl is a pretty skilled fencer. He's got a bronze medal from World Championships in Vet 60 Saber, and he's actually the parent of one of our fencers. And after the kid went to college, he decided he wanted to fence, and he's just a lifelong athlete and very hardworking and very youthful spirit, despite being 67 years old. But he's demonstrating a lot of really good technique here. See there, I just worked in how to also rotate in the parry. And I just want you to watch kind of the time in between the actions, giving us time to just kind of focus, and giving him small little verbal cues. And I moved from just creating, an opening with my blade to also showing the counterattack to build their confidence to finish in the right tempo. That's important. So now we've evolved to a little bit more student initiated. In the beginning, when I was working from the blade, I was opening and showing him when and where to go. Now Carl is initiating by turning his weapon and aiming the tip a little bit. And this is a tricky part to get your students to do correctly and consistently, but it's so important. You see he had a little hitch there, a little mistake, but he's working it out. And the struggle with Carl is that he likes to go fast, and just getting him to slow down a little bit and have a little bit more fine motor technique was basically at work. That was a good rep. Oops.
Yeah, I would kind of mirror and go to the body because I'm here in that position. Chest is up. Is the mirror. There you go.
That's me checking to make sure we're still in frame for y'all. Boom. Now I've started to rotate in the disengage, and this can be a pretty tricky action in Saber to get right for your students. In foil, it's pretty much a basic technique, but in Saber, it's generally categorized as a little bit more of an intermediate technique because you have to change the line and avoid the blade and still get you a cut on there. Oh, you ran into my guard on that one. But Carl's doing a good job here. And, the work is always just getting them to just kind of slow down a little bit and really focus on that detail. So what I'm demonstrating there to Carl is to give a little more time at the start so he can see and then make the right choice. So we've taken a super simple, one step, pretty much, first intention, simple attacks. And then we put some choice to it where he's got to read, whether to do a direct attack or indirect attack. And, this was a warm-up part of a lesson, but you could structure, most of a training lesson around this and do just fine for your students. And, here we're just going to watch a couple more in slow motion. But I really want to bring to your attention error correction. And Carl has, got a ton of fencing experience, a lot of good results. He's also primarily a kinesthetic-based learner, so I don't really explain a lot of things to him. And most of the time when he makes a mistake, he's aware of it. And so I don't need to bring too much attention to it. I just can create, the conditions for him to process and work through his work without overburdening him with like too many details that are ultimately just going to distract him and detract from his focus. So, you have to really look at the type of students you have, figure out their learning style, and craft your language and your cues to, help them learn best. Some athletes like a lot high level of detail and having things explained. Others just need to see it to be able to do it. And then obviously you got the kinesthetic learners like Carl who are just in their bodies and they just have to be able to kind of move and do the stuff. And hopefully you're creative enough with your cues and flexible enough to adjust when they work or when they don't work so that you and your fencers are having a good time. All right, thanks everybody. See you next time.